There we go. So just to reiterate for anyone on the recording, or if you didn't hear, to find if it's a mealy or more machine, you want to find when the output was set, and over here, the output was set here based on the current state and the input. Because it's relevant on the input, this is now a mealy machine. If this wasn't here, and it just had z equals arbitrary value, then it would be a more machine. This is a mealy machine because you're dependent on the present state and the inputs at that time. Excuse me. Cool. Next question. What type of modeling is described here? Question or answer?
Question.
Question, go for it.
Isn't the only input the current state? Or
So,
X is, like, does it have two, like the finite state machine has two X's as an input and they're actually both inputs? Like, is
good
X
question.
a state or an input?
Sorry?
Is X the state or an input? It's an input. Okay.
X is an input here. So because it's a function on X, that's why it's a mealy machine. This fun little syntax here is just a short way of writing an if statement, right? So this actually would expand to if X equals 0, 0, or 1, 1, then Z equals 1, else Z equals 0. Does that make sense? So after this question mark, it says that if this was true, then we give it this, else we give it that. This is a very shorthand way of writing an if statement. This is called a ternary operator and is present in most programming languages. Caveat, Verilog is not a programming language. People will get very angry at me if I say that. It's actually a hardware description language. Okay, what type of modeling is described here?
Behavioral.
Bingo, and why?
Because it's using case and always.
Perfect. So, because it uses a case and always, it is a behavioral. There are no actual AND gates or gates or anything in here. This kind of describes if this, then do that. So we're describing the behavior of this. We're not describing the internal structure of our gates. We're not actually drawing up a flip-flop using all the AND gates inside of it. Okay, question?
So what's the difference between behavioral modeling and data flow?
I'm not too sure.
Data flow uses a sign, doesn't it?
So they are very, very similar. And so with structural, I believe you would say it's an OR gate which take like output of Y, input of A, B, C, right? Whereas in, what was the other one? Data flow, you would say assign Y equals A or B or C.
But if you wanted to do that in a behavioral modeling, wouldn't you do the exact same line?
Yeah, you would. So, I guess, like she said, once you have an always at or a case, it cannot be these two types of modeling. It must be a behavioral. You can have other aspects in it, because you're still, like, on a high level describing the behavior, you just happen to have an AND gate inside it somewhere. All right? I'm recording anyway, so worst case, all good. So the answer to this one is behavioral. I hope that's how you spell it. I don't know if you can read that. Finally, derive a state table. Ah, good old. Oh God, I'm glad that was closed. Okay. Latch, flip-flop, latch, that. Cool. Final question. Derive a state table. I'm going to zoom out for this so that we can see the code and the writing at the same time. I'm going to need to move this. You can see both now. Okay. Derive a state table. 1 second. I'm not dying, I promise. We're all dying inside, aren't we? Okay, on the recording, this is off the screen. I'll have to be there. There we go. Okay. Cool. So, derive a state table or diagram. I like diagrams. They're kind of easier to just... When you see something, I think in diagrams, not tables. If you think in tables, power to you. So we'll draw a diagram here. So we'll start off, we know it's a Mealy machine. So we know that our outputs are dependent on our inputs. So we're going to have all the lines on our outputs. And the current state is only going to be a small little circle. We have 4 states here. So I can just draw A, B, C, and D. And now we want to draw, if input equals 0, 0, then, or 1, 1, then next state equals B. This is going to get real messy. Right? 0, 0, and the output here is 1. Or 1, 1 also, the output is 1. So 0, 0 with an output of 1, and then 1, 1 with an output of 1. Otherwise, the next state is back to A. So we can have 0, 1 with an output of 0, and 1, 0 with an output of 0. Now we go to B. Is there anyone to join that one?
Yeah, there is.
Okay. And then on B, if x is 0, 1 or 1, 0, then we go to D. Otherwise, we go to B. So from here, if it's 0, 1 or 1, 0, then we go to D. Otherwise, we stay here. This is 0, 0, and then 1, 1. With B, if x is 1, 1, then the output is 1. Is that focused enough? Yeah, that's all I can do. Can you still read that? Awesome. Back on the recording. Right. Do that. Hopefully that's still legible. Okay, so if x is 1, 1, then the output is 1. Otherwise, the output is 0. Does it make sense where I got that from? Over here, if x is 1, 1, then it's 1. Otherwise, the output is 0. And now from C, if it's 0, 0 or 1, 1, we go to D. 0, 0, 1, 1. And if it's 0, 0, the output is 1. That's a slash. If it's 1, 1, the output is 0. Otherwise, go back to A. So 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. If it's 0, 1, the output is 1. It's 1, 0, it's a 0, it's a 0. Okay, that's out of C. And then out of D, if it's a 0, 0 or a 1, 1, the next state is C. If it's a 1, 1, the output is 0. Otherwise, the output is 1. Otherwise, it goes back to B. B, if it's 0, 1, 1, 0, an output of 1. Okay? This is our final state diagram. This looks awfully messy. You're welcome to use colors if you want, but realistically, you'd probably still get the marks for this in the final exam. Are there any questions?
So just to double check, the brackets and the question mark basically saying if the brackets are true, then the answer equals the first term after the question mark, and if the brackets are false, then it equals the second term.
Precisely.
After the question mark. Okay.
Precisely. So to reiterate for the recording, if the recording can still hear me, the way the ternary operator works, the way this funny operator works, if I enhance, whoop, and focus, perfect. Right? So I have, inside these brackets, I have a statement which is comparing x and 2b11. If that is true, then z is assigned to the first value. If that is false, then z is assigned to the second value. Okay? So it checks whether this is true, and then based on that, it gives you either the first or the second output. Okay? And you're assigning that to z. You can only use this in assignments. You can't, like, when assigning a value. Not in the word assign, but in the sense giving it a value. You can't use it just as a general shorthand of then do something. You can only do it to mean a value. Question?
The double vertical lines, is that individual bit comparator? Is that like double as opposed to single? Does that mean each bit is being?
Yes, yes.
Okay, same
So
and double.
we have or, we have and as that, right? So this compares it bitwise. It compares the individual bits. So when we did A or B, it's comparing their bits and seeing how that works. So this is bitwise. And then we have logical, which is a double line or a double and, right? So this checks if that statement was true and the next statement was true. It's not checking them bitwise anymore. It's checking their truthfulness, so to say. Okay? Mm-hmm.
In this case, x equals 0, 0 would evaluate to either 0 or 1.
Mm.
So would it work with either or would that be a type?
It would. It would work, but just when you're kind of thinking about it conceptually, like the entire reason why computer science is a degree is learn to write code that looks nice. Like GPT can write ugly code. I'm sure like many people can write ugly code or ugly hardware description language. But the kind of skill is in making it look kind of understandable to humans. Like the entire reason we have this always at block is so that we can focus on kind of describing the behavior of this nicely and making it updatable rather than actually putting in all the AND gates and making it an absolute pain in the back. So this is, like you said, a checks for equality. This would evaluate to a single bit of true or false. Any other questions? The very final question that I had prepared for today, which we will skip because we've already basically done it all. Just to show what it was, I will need to zoom out. Unenhanced.
Are we given the data path table?
Yes, yes. If a question requires you to do the data path calculations, you will be given the data path table. If you don't know what that means, rip, yeah. I was going to cover it today, but we are running short on time, so I will skip out on that. Would anyone be interested in me recording a video about data path and uploading it? Yeah? Okay. I'll record a short, like 10-minute summary video on the data path because I have nothing prepared for it. You need the table. I don't have that printed out. I'll put that on the forum. We'll link it in the YouTube video. Otherwise, just as this one doesn't actually need the data path. This is just calculate addition and subtraction. If you actually look at it, it's saying the registers R1 and R2 of a microprocessor. This is basically just giving you nonsense. All it's saying is add these two together and tell me NZVC output. And subtract them and do the NZVC output. Okay? The reason I'm skipping this is because Otto already went over basically all of this question and he made up his own hex values and subtracted them. So we don't need to do that now. Otherwise, I think that's it. Any final questions? All right, thank you for coming. Online, thank you for listening. Online, thank you for listening. And to everyone, I will upload a video at some point in time within the next 24 hours for the data path. Stop recording.
Not just yet.
Not just yet.
We wait till we see that.
Thank you very much.
All good. See ya.